Welcome fellows and goobers. Today is the day when Skirk comes out. What's a gal to do other than pull for her? I mean, just look at her, she's gorgeous and probably strong. They wouldn't make Child's Master weak, right? I mean, I know she's restricted to 2 elements, that being Cryo and Hydro, but it shouldn't be that bad. I do dislike when they make characters have restriction to elements, but just too hot not to pull. It's fine. I also have pre-farmed some of her materials that I need for her, so I'm kind of locked into pulling her. Quick intersection, like in my other videos, I didn't want this to be a voiceover, but it seems that the world is out to get me. I swear my family is quiet, but when it's time for me to record, it seems that everybody needs me and everyone has to do something really noisy. Currently, I'm writing the script, I'm listening to songs at full volume, because otherwise I just can't focus due to them being so loud. I'm not blaming my family, but I sure am blaming them. Back to the actual video, I do have some of my original voice. Well, before I was interrupted. Paskova will be there for the pulling, but since most of it has a lot of background noise, it's unusable. I log into Genshin and claimed a mail. I was confused on what the Dust of Enlightenment was, but apparently it's for re-rolling artifact stats. No clue how to get them, but it's probably a new challenge or something like that. Of course, when a new patch comes out, a new battle pass also comes out. But there's no change to the weapon, so I don't plan on buying it. Now, this is interesting. There's new echoes, or in layman terms, new trails. And guess who got one? Yes, it's the Raiden Shogun. I was waiting for this for a long ass time, I can't lie. Enough yapping, let's get to the pulls. I'm pulling in front of the Abyss because, well, that's the closest thing to the actual Abyss that we have in Genshin currently. And Paskova will take this section hour. Let's do this. Please give me at least one Dahlia, or whatever his name is. Where's Temple? Do I get a copy of the 4-star? The new 4-star? Absolutely not. Second temple. By the way, I'm really close to pity. I'm like 40 pity in. I'm not actually sure. Is this Dahlia? Well, no, it is not. Okay, last temple, but not the last chance. Not the last chance. I'm gonna skip this. Dahlia. Oh, what the hell? I'm a bit off from a temple. How much am I off of temple? Okay, wait. Oh, how odd. Oh, how odd. Anyways, no. Skirk is coming home. Just watch this. Or maybe the next temple. Now, she's coming home, okay? Listen to me. Here she is. Let's go. Yes! I got Dahlia too. Nice. Both of them are golden now. Just one temple on the weapon banner can't hurt nobody. Oh man. With the pulling over, it's time to level Skirk. Now, do I have enough materials to level Skirk? Well, I have enough for 20, 40, 50, and 60, and then I run out of the flowers. There's clearly not enough to bring her to level 80, so 70 has to do for now. But it's time for the flower ASMR. There we go, level 70 is now here. Let me equip her pre-farmed artifacts. They're pretty okay since I spent a long time in that domain, not only for Skirk but also for Varasa. Let me tell you, the Varasa artifacts are still really disappointing. All my luck went into these Skirk artifacts. Before, I was thinking of equipping the Jade Cutter on her, but Haran or Aitt's sword is kinda better on her due to the passive that it has. After that, I leveled her talent. Her skill is the bulk of her damage, so it's the first one I level. Then it's the burst, which I also level because a burst Skirk is a possibility. I don't level the normal attack at all, because mostly you won't be using it at all. So yeah, the hierarchy is skill, burst, normal attack. I go back to collecting some flowers and then I do the Skirk trial, where for the first time in Genshin's history, they're letting us use a limited 5-star character in another limited 5-star character's trial. Well, there's a first time for everything, I guess. I didn't really understand Skirk's kit still, so I just did all of the support stuff and then tapped my skill and spammed the attack. I guess that's how you're supposed to actually use her, but the past me was confused on why I couldn't use her ultimate at all. Thinking that I was doing something wrong, the trial Skirk's damage isn't actually bad, so it gave me hope. With that, I'm thinking of teams to use. My first thought was that her teams aren't that restrictive, so I went with Skirk, Furina, Shenhe, and Silonen. Since my Silonen is C2, Skirk would get a 60% damage increase because she's cryo. I equipped my Silonen on Scroll since she was running Petra before because, well, I usually run her in Mawika, Sidlali, Bennett, and Silonen teams, so the double scroll is not needed. I remember I can do 2 standard pulls, and watch this! This is totally worth it. Yeah, I lied once again. With that done, I go to the Abyss to actually test her out. I played Mawika team first, but with no Silonen. First half is of course not hard since I have Mawika putting out a ton of damage, so it's time to see Skirk's performance. She's putting out numbers between 20k and 40k in rapid succession. I would say this is really damn good for a level 70 character with 166 talents. Now, did I know how to actually play her correctly? No, but I was doing a lot of damage even with playing her in the wrong team. It's probably due to Silonen C2 that it didn't really matter. I only did the first chamber since their seahorse is kinda annoying, so I didn't bother to do it. Now, the actual question is Skirk worth pulling for? Well, from my experience so far, she's a great DPS but very restricted. You do need her best supports to play her really well, but I'm not sure how much that matters since even with having kind of the wrong team, she can output a lot of damage still. Now's the time I switched to Kokomi being in the team instead of Silonen to test out how that does. It was my original thought, but I really wanted to try out Silonen first since I have C2. I just didn't understand how restrictive the Skirk team actually is. With this team, I wanted to test out the more burst-focused Skirk since her ultimate damage numbers are quite good. Mine did about 300k if you count all of the numbers together. Going back to the Spiral Abyss to try this team again, Mawika first half, but now the new and improved team in the second half. Mawika hits a nice 1.3 million on the first half, and now it's Skirk's time to show off. The damage seems about the same, but this team is way cheaper to actually build since it doesn't need a C2 Silonen. So I'd say this is way more worth it. I wanted to try this again, but using only my ultimate with Skirk, which did about 70 to 90k per hit. In my opinion, for a level 70 character with no signature weapon and 166 talents, this is actually insane. I also figured out how to use her ultimate. Basically what you do is hold skill, do your support stuff, and then go back, do the hold skill again, and then use your ultimate. I think the other playstyle is better because for burst Skirk there's a lot of downtime till you can use her again. As tradition, it's time to beat up one of the flowers. Since Skirk is cryo, the pyro flower is the victim. I fear that Skirk didn't let this flower even breathe. This flower and the cryo one have been used as test subjects for years, so why not bring the tradition back? Also, since there's a new echo, it's time to get the Raiden one. As a C6 Raiden main, it should be really easy. But I don't like that they give trial support since my C6 Chevy and C6 Kujo Sara would have performed way better. With C6 Raiden, this challenge is on easy mode. By the way, Raiden's damage boost and at C3, so there's no actual point of going C6, I'm just a huge Raiden fan. I wanted Skirk to be level 80, so I joined Blue's World. Shout out to you, Blue. Huge W, thank you, bro. I only needed a few and I quickly stole them. But before I leave co-op, let's talk about the new chat. Why is it so small? Man, I need a magnifying glass to read this. I don't get why developers have the need to change these kinds of stuff. First it was Valorant making the player icon social distance. Now it's my Genshin chat that is socially distancing from my eyes. I swear they'll make it so small in the next update that I'll need glasses to read this. Rant over. It's time to level Skirk to level 80. And why is Yan-san there? Just staring at the crafting table, alright? First, I need crystals to actually do that, so I transmute a couple of them. Now it's time to level her. Our glorious Abyssal Queen is now level 80, and this pull will bring home everything I need. Just kidding. With that, I'm going to go over Skirk's build. Weapon is Haran, artifact set is 4-piece Finale of the Deep with a main focus on the crit stats, attack sense and a cryo damage goblet with a crit damage circlet. Whether to go for a crit rate or a crit damage circlet really depends on your build. Talents are 166, never mind, they're 186 now. And yeah, this is my Skirk build, so see you guys next time. Bye bye!